announced you're making your second start here at the Mayakoba Golf Classic. We get some comments about your return to Mexico for this event.
Yeah, it's nice to be back. Obviously, I haven't been here in a while, so feels good. Played 9 holes yesterday, just trying to remember the golf course. And it's good. Obviously there's been a lot of rain, but the course is in good shape, and hopefully play well.
And you notched a couple top 10s in your last 2 starts. How is your body and your game feeling right now?
Yeah, it feels good. I mean, it couldn't have got much worse than it did over the summer, so everything's a lot better, which is nice, and I feel good, and hopefully continue.
Sounds good. We'll take some questions from the media that's joining us. We'll go first to Kevin Price from PGA Tour.
Hey Brooks, there is a stat, they did a study that accuracy at this course is twice as important as distance in predicting success. And I was wondering, based on what your thoughts on this course, what your theory would be as to why that is. It was an extreme outlier as opposed to any other course on tour.
Probably because the rough's so bad. The rough's so thick. You hit it in there. It's hard to chip. I don't know. I played with Ollie Snydergens yesterday, and he said it's thicker than it has been over the 2 times he's played it, and it's tough to control it. Whether you're going to get a flyer, whether you're going to get something that comes out dead, it's tough to chip out of, and so you got to hit it. You got to hit it straight. You got to find the fairway. It gives you a good chance at this place if you're going to be in the fairway.
And I wanted to ask, I cover the Korn Ferry Tour, and your brother is a member out there, how you describe your brother's game and his strengths, and what your relationship is in helping in his career, if you kind of give him a lot of advice or if you stay more hands-off.
I was asked to stay more hands-off, so I let him do his thing. It's his career. I try not to get in the way. If he asks for advice, I give it to him, just like any brother would. But it's fun to watch him. I'm following him pretty much every. I know he missed out on the Monday here by 2, so I follow it quite a bit just to see what he's doing and how he's playing. But hopefully he can get in a few more events and play well. He needs to. He hits it pretty straight. It's kind of would have been a perfect golf course for him if he would have qualified. So disappointed to see that. But yeah, he just needs to get in more events. It's obviously been a crazy year, so you don't have that many events to play in if you're not a full member, I guess, or somebody that's playing consistently week in, week out. You're jumping in here and there trying to Monday qualify. That's tough. So it's just been a weird year.
Awesome. Thank you.
Yep.
We'll go next to Rex Hogger from Golf Channel.
Hey Brooks, as someone who played on both the European Tour and PGA Tour pretty extensively following last week's announcement about the strategic alliance, Keith Kelly talked about like a global schedule possibly going forward. How would that benefit a player like you and the other top players in the game?
Oh, benefits us tremendously. We're, I guess, more exposed to different places. You can grow the Tour's brand, our brand personally, and become bigger. We both grow together, and I think that's important. You see, obviously guys like Tiger. You can go anywhere and anybody knows that name. But now, guys coming up, it's going to be a lot easier over Asia, South America. It depends wherever they want to go, and make it truly like a global tour, and be well known around the world, which I think could be super, super big for the tour, PGA Tour, European Tour, and it's fun, man. I enjoyed those days back in Challenge Tour, traveling the world, and it's fun. I like going to different cultures, so it'll be hopefully as much fun.
And as it kind of applies to both tours, would this be something that could benefit both of the tours in your view?
I don't see how it's going to hurt. Obviously, the European Tour, they need a little bit of help, and I think with the way the PGA Tour is structured, how much when it comes to sponsors, when it comes to fans, when it comes to all these different things, that's where the European Tour is lacking. And I think having, I guess, an interest in the European Tour and maybe bring some of those, whether it be sponsors or fans, or create the hype around a European Tour event where, you know, the hype that we have in the PGA Tour, because I think sometimes that's lacking a little bit. As you can see, I mean, I've played the European Tour. There's not as many fans that come out, especially when we go to England. You know, you're surprised sometimes. I mean, they love golf, and every time we go to the British Open or the Wentworth, I mean, there's so many fans. And then, you know, sometimes you get to the in Scotland, the Dunhill, and there's not too many fans. So maybe just be able to bring more notoriety and bring much more energy to the tour.
We'll go next to Dylan Fisher from Golf.com.
Hey Brooks, let's see, you've got a couple weeks removed from a pretty solid start at Augusta. I'm wondering just how you think about your week there now, a couple weeks out.
Yeah, I mean, it's disappointing, but I mean, I don't think anybody was going to catch DJ. DJ played pretty good. I think it was kind of coming. I mean, I think we all know that he was going to win more than one major. And the run he had from Travelers till Augusta was pretty impressive. I don't know if there's, I mean, that stretch in golf is probably go down for one of the best maybe 6 months we've seen in a long time. So, I mean, I'm disappointed. I mean, it's not been the year I wanted, but we just got to move on and just keep pushing through. And Augusta, just wasn't pleased with it, but I mean, I guess I get to go back next year, so it's the only positive.
That's right, you get to go back pretty soon. Do you feel like you get an off season now? I know it's kind of a short stretch here, and if you do, is there anything you're going to focus on during that time?
Just keep focusing on my fitness. I think that's probably the big thing, making sure I'm healthy, making sure my knee's good, hips good. That'll be kind of the main priority, but as far as everything else goes, it'll be a little bit longer off season for me because I haven't won, so I'm not going to be in Hawaii. I guess it could change this week, but we'll see. We'll see how it goes. My game, I feel like, is trending in the right direction. I like where my swing's at. I like where everything is. So I'm pretty pleased, and just keep working. Just keep doing the same stuff you do every off season.
Thanks, Brooks.
Next question is to Abraham Bean from W Radio.
Hi Brooks. Just wondering how much attention are Mexican players getting from elite PA Tour players?
I mean, I think you look at what's going on. Abraham, Carlos. I mean, everybody's. I mean, I think they both had chances in the last couple of weeks, or the last couple times they've played to close the deal and win. So, I mean, they're obviously got a bunch of young fans here in Mexico growing up and wanting to be just like them. So, brings more attention to the game. It's always a good thing.
Thank you.
Next question is to Adam Shupat from Golf Week.
Hey Brooks, why don't we just follow up on something Rex asked you about the European Tour, PGA Tour strategic alliance. Do you think American players want to play more overseas?
I think it depends on the person. I think some guys are pretty set in their ways, pretty comfortable with, you look at it too. I think family plays a big part in that, where the guys are just more comfortable with their family. They don't want to travel as much. They're getting a little bit older, where it's more important to be home. Golf's, obviously really important, but at the same time, family becomes a little bit more important, and it kind of phases out. But I would say the younger guys are definitely more willing to travel, more willing to go over there. I don't have I have my family, but I haven't started my own family yet. So I love it over there. I always like to travel, so it's one of those things for me that's kind of a no-brainer. I would go in a heartbeat.
How do you sum up your 2020 season?
I don't know if I can say that without getting fined, but it's pretty bad.
Do you look at it as a lost year?
I don't really think about it. I think you guys think about it more than I do. I just it was bad. From the moment I got hurt till I pulled out, or what was it, I guess? I mean, I started back in Vegas and I was pretty pleased. So from that point forward, going back to when I got hurt, I just think of that as just whatever, and I don't think about it. It's just one of those things. Just trying to fight through it and couldn't, and just my body wasn't letting me do things that I wanted to do. So I don't put too much weight on it.
Considering you had a lot of time off, do you plan to play a lot of tournaments early next season, or what's your plan looking for 2021?
Yeah, it's a little bit different. I think definitely going to start out on the West Coast and play a little bit more. I think the one thing that this pandemic kind of taught me is you see a lot of guys don't start their season until March, and it kind of bit me and maybe a couple other players this year, just because you're having to jam so many tournaments in. So kind of spread them out a little bit more and make sure it's more of a consistent flow throughout the year.
And as far as 2021 goals, have you looked at some of the majors and where they are, and is there something that jumps out at you as like a great spot for you?
I mean, I know they're playing Torrey. I don't know where else we're going, but I know I'll be there just to kind of see the golf course again and see what's going on. I think that's important. It'll be obviously a lot different weather, a lot different conditions, but just nice to see the golf course again.
Thank you.
All right, Brooks, thank you so much for your time and good luck this week.
Perfect. Thanks.